Record. All right, that was awesome. I really like doing the power hours. We'll just do it the first 2 weeks of each month, and then we'll just try to like catapult us into Hit Success Club. And has anyone hit Success Club yet? What? Okay, I'm gonna mute. Well, yeah, just mute yourself. And then, yay, I'm excited for this. This is gonna get technical, but it'll be good for you guys, for all of us. I'm gonna be learning too. And I've got my whiteboard. You know, things getting real when I bust out the whiteboard. Do we have any, we've got any new coaches on here? It looks like Alyssa is pretty new, and so is Jessica. Do you want me to call you Jess or Jessica?
Jess is good.
Okay. I never know. I just call you your Facebook name, like your full Facebook name. Hey, Jody.
Hi.
Natasha, Shireen. Cool. Let me make sure that Nicole's getting on because I need her help explaining this.
Whoa.
Okay, I'm just going to start with announcements. We've got our Team Love Handles group starting on Monday with prep week. So I'm giving everyone that I message the deadline to order by Sunday. I'm saying by Valentine's Day, which is Sunday. So that way they'll at least have 5 to 7 business days to get their challenge pack, and hopefully it'll arrive before the following Monday so they can do the workouts on, what day is that? The 21st, 22nd. So that's the plan. That's what's happening this week. That's what you should be promoting this week. Promote that in your free group, promote that on your social media, promote that in messages, and that way you can, because really the first 2 weeks of each month, you should be promoting the challenge group, and then the final 2 weeks, you're like recruiting and doing, promoting the sneak peek and all that. So that's kind of my focus. I'm just kind of like breaking up into 2 sections. Get challengers and get coaches. Yay, there's Nicole.
Hey.
Hi. And then what else? So then next week we start our Love Handles group, and then the week after that is our sneak peek into coaching. So gosh, this is going by fast. Everything goes by fast. All right, so do you guys let's just dive into the we're gonna get technical and talk about stuff that might overwhelm you a little, might confuse you a little, but I'd rather attempt to explain it than not cover it at all. And to be honest with you guys, like I am just barely starting to understand it myself. So don't feel like if you don't understand it, you're not alone. And one of the things that's helped me understand it is watching a ton of YouTube videos and then just studying my back office, like the genealogy, and just trying to explain it myself. I feel like you learn by teaching. So trying to like the other day, I was trying to explain it to my husband. Trying to explain volume to my husband. So if you can try to teach it to your own coaches or your husband, you're going to learn it even better. And I've been trying to talk to some of you guys about it as well. So Nicole, where do you think we should start? Should we talk about volume first?
Yeah, just kind of explain how it adds up on each leg.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just start with the basics, and then we can answer questions.
Okay, and you guys want my I kind of have like an analogy because I'm such a visual person that I think I'm going to draw a picture and do my analogy, and then Nicole, you can chime in, and Jody and anyone else that wants to help fill in the gaps. But hang on, I got to erase I already got crap on it. Let me erase this really quick.
I think if she didn't have an analogy, I'd be really disappointed.
You guys knew I got my degree in elementary ed, so that's why I'm like the nerdy whiteboard, like, okay, boys and girls.
It helps.
I think it does. Okay, so I broke it down to my husband in that, so when you join as a coach, you have your mama, like that's me, and then there's you, whatever leg you're on. And your mom has a mama, right? So you're joining this fit family, okay? So the coach you joined under is your mom, and then your teammates, all of you guys are like siblings in Team Chic. Okay, so sometimes your strong leg is the leg that your coach put you on, because your upline coach is going to have the other babies, and her kids are her coaches, okay? So her kids are like your siblings. And when they have kids, they're like your nieces and nephews, right? It's like this huge extended family. So your strong leg is when your mom, it's like your mom's side of the family. It's your extended family. You're going to have some of your siblings adding coaches below you. And so when you look in your graphical genealogy, you're like, why is Amy Smith under me? I don't even know who she is. And that's because some of your teammates or siblings, are you following me, Jody? Are having babies as well, and they show up in your extended family, which is like your strong leg, okay? And then, of course, you need to have your own little family, right? So that's your weak leg. That's where you need to sponsor your husband on your weak leg. Because as you can see, you're going to get all this spillover from your extended family, and you're going to get all this volume on one side. So you've got to build your own volume on your weak leg. This is your strong leg. This is your weak leg. So because in order to get team cycle bonuses, you get every time your team gets so think of it, every time your team or your extended family and your own family sells so many product points, then it's like Beachbody gives you a bonus check, which is a team bonus cycle. And the bonus check is either $14 if you're an Emerald, or it's $16 if you're a Ruby, which we all just skip Ruby. I don't think anyone on this team has gone Ruby. Or it's $18 if you're a Diamond. So you can see why you want to become an Emerald, because you're not making any of this residual income. You're not earning money while you sleep until you're an Emerald. So that's why you want to become an Emerald, because you're going to start making moolah without having to do all the work. You know what I mean? Because before you become an Emerald, you're just making commission only. And I will tell you straight up, I make most of my money off team bonus cycles. So, so if this side let's say this side gets 200 volume points, right? So think of it like your extended family lives on this side of the street, or you live on one side of the street and your extended family lives on the other side of the street, right? And you guys are having a rally to see who can sell the most. Well, if your little personal family sells 100 points worth of products, and this side sells 200 points of products, Beachbody's giving you that little $14 to $18 bonus every time you guys do this much in sales. Okay, you both have to have this much on one side and this much on the other. So Beachbody's here you go, is $14. But you can do this several times a day. So you could get let's say you had 1,000 volume on one side and 2,000 on the other. then that's 10 bonus cycles or bonus checks, right, Nicole?
Yeah, that's 10 cycles you'd get a day. So like at $14, you'd get $140 that day.
Right. So if your team is all rocking it, you're on one side, on your weak side, which is your little personal family, and then your extended family. But you're going to obviously have some of your coaches on both sides, right? Because you're also building for rank. You also want to go diamond. So you obviously need like 4 coaches here, 4 coaches here. So it's like if your kids, have a sleepover with grandma or their aunt or whatever. So I hope I'm not making this more complicated with my analogy. Am I, Nicole?
No, I love it. It's perfect. Okay.
So yeah.
I think one thing though that like new coaches might know is volume is, I think most people know this, but our brand new ones, there's just points attached to the Beachbody products. So when we sell Beachbody products or someone on our team or someone in that extended family side, like the spillover from your downline, anytime they give someone their link and someone purchases a product, there's just points attached to that. So like a $90 product usually adds up to about 90 points. So that's what volume is. It just adds up the points associated with sales.
Right. So like Shakeology is 90 PV, meaning, is it product? What is it? What does PV stand for?
Personal volume, just the points you get from it.
So it's basically 90 points. And in order to be considered an active coach, meaning like you qualify for rank, I guess, then you have to have at least 50 PV per month. So you got to either buy or sell 50 points of products per month. So that's why most of us just stay on Shakeology, right? Because it's a no-brainer. It comes every month. Most of us love it, and we get those 50 PV. As you become a diamond, you have to maintain 100 PV. So it increases, and as you become a 2-star, I think it's like 200 PV.
Emerald is 90, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
As long as you're hitting Success Club, that's not an issue because your customers generate that PV for you too. So.
Okay.
Kelly, did you see Shar's question?
Yeah, I did. I was going to answer that. Shar's asking, what is a team cycle? It's just every time that your team goes through the ratio of 100 to 200, then that's like one team cycle. And that's why it's called a team cycle bonus. That's when you get your little $14 or $18 bonus check, But of course they don't pay you till Thursday, right? So it all adds up through the week. And then on Thursday, you get those like bonus checks all added up. So that's kind of how it works. So here's why you want to add your husband on your weak leg, because then you have some control over your weak leg too. You can build his business, because this one's going to be strong no matter what, because your mama coach is adding coaches, and so are your siblings, your teammates. So this side, you want to make sure you're building this one so they're both kind of even. Or at least a 1-to-2 ratio. You can make them even, or you can make them a 1-to-2 ratio.
So if that's the case, does it then make more sense for you to be adding coaches underneath your husband or underneath the person whose business you're running under weak leg as opposed to underneath you?
Well, Nicole and I were just talking about this. So you always want to get yourself to Success Club first. And then get your husband to Success Club. So like, I would either get yourself to Success Club 5 or 10, and then start like you did this last. I think you did this last.
Right. That worked out really well for us.
Then you're you're getting your own volume, and then you're also getting volume under him. So you're kind of like double dipping.
Right. But then when it comes to actually adding coaches, does it make more sense to add them under him? Because unless your weak leg is getting that 100 PV volume, you're not making any money. So does it make more sense then, like I know advancing rank obviously aside, does it make more sense monetarily to be adding coaches under that person instead of yourself?
It's tricky because
You're a diamond.
yeah, because you want to go diamond because then you'll start getting $18 bonus checks. And then you can build your husband a diamond. What do you think, Nicole and Jody?
Well, I think you might as well get the higher cycle bonus. Build up your husband and not you. Then you're not residually getting that and the $18. You're just getting $14.
Right. So look
And
at
then,
it
like
as
Kelly, you're always getting shouted out as the wrong person. I personally think that it makes the most sense to get yourself to at least diamond, then build him up. So then you're getting volume upon whatnot. Plus, you want enough of a team underneath you that volume's making some sort of a difference whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
So.
Plus you do want to get your spouse to emerald. Like, well, here's kind of how I would build. I would add, for sure, put your spouse on your weak leg. Then start adding other coaches, you kind of go back and forth. But once you have business builders, like hopefully you'll find a business builder on your strong leg and she'll get herself to emerald. And then once you've added, let's say 8 coaches, but you still need another emerald, then build your husband to emerald. And then you'll start getting team bonus cycles from him too. Like, so then he can start making residual income, even if he's not working the business. This is assuming that he's not working the business. So another thing I wanted to mention is that it's really important to add your husband, whether you plan to, because this spot is prime real estate. Because as soon as more coaches start coming on your team and adding their coaches, that's like a ton of volume beneath you that you can tap into for your husband. So you want to secure that real estate, if that makes sense. Even if he's not active, I would just pay the $40 and hold that spot so that eventually you can tap into that volume. Do you want to add anything, Nicole?
No, I agreed. And to go along with what Shar was asking, I had watched a video that Melanie Mitchell did with Scotty Hobbs for our team, and she said a really effective thing to do is to build your business to diamond, and then ask yourself one of two things, is my goal to advance in rank, or is my goal to make a really consistent income? And if it's more income based, then she has her coaches start building their weak leg. So spend more time, once they've got themselves to diamond, spend more time building their husband's account, so that, like Shar was saying, it does make a lot more sense because you're going to make more money that way. But Melanie did say, get yourself to diamond first, then make that decision. Do you want to keep advancing in rank, or do you want to make more on residual income and cycle bonuses? But I agree with the holding your husband's spot, that prime real estate. I mean, if you decide, you know what, we're just going to wait, we're going to do it when we can afford it, or when I can actually work his business. I mean, you're going to have multiple people in that space creating volume, and you're going to lose out on that volume. So it's just money lost and opportunity lost if you don't just secure that spot right away. And if you think about it, it's $15 or $16 overhead a month to just keep that spot for him. So it's pretty minimal.
Okay, Shireen has a question, and I want to answer before you panic, Shireen. So I'm pretty sure you're good, Shireen, because I was kind of watching to make sure your husband was on your weak leg. I'm pretty sure he's fine. I swear I've double checked several times. But here's how you can check what your strong leg and weak leg is, okay? So let's say you're a brand new coach. You're going to go to your graphical genealogy in the online coach online office, and you'll notice like here's you, and then suddenly you're going to see like, oh wow, and it could be this leg. That was just an example on the right leg. So that was just an example. So it could be this leg where you're seeing all these coaches right here. Then this is your strong leg. If you see a whole bunch of random coaches that are not yours, that's your strong leg. So that's how you know you need to set your preferred placement to the opposite leg and put your husband on that one. And if you are questioning, just ask me and I can double check for you. But typically your strong leg is the same leg that like I added you on. So you can ask me what leg I added you on. If you're on my left leg, that's your strong leg. If you're on my right leg, then that's your strong leg. Is that right, Nicole? Okay.
Yep, that's right.
Does that make you feel better, Shereen?
And that can change at any point in time. Like if you add more coaches on your weak leg and it grows more, then your legs will switch. So some people go back and forth. It is just whatever leg has the most volume at any given time is your strong leg.
Yeah, so that's why it's important to check sometimes I'll spend like 30 minutes studying the back office, because let's say you go in the back office and you click on my volume and it says like, it'll say LV and it'll say RV. And that means left volume, right volume. You'll see it'll say a number like maybe like 100 to 200. Then you can see that obviously there's a lot more volume on your right leg and there's less on your left. So for me, I'm always checking to make sure that these are about even. Because let's say you have like 100 to 2,000, then you're missing out on a lot of bonus checks. You're missing out because there's not a 1-to-2 ratio. It's like a 1-to-20 ratio or whatever the math is. Let's pretend that I know how to do math.
That's so true, because I think mine right now is something like 800 on my left and like 12,000 on my right or something.
Oh my gosh.
My left like crazy so that I can take advantage of the cycles, because Brigitte Linford is like my upline on my right, so I like get a lot of her spillover, so I get a lot of volume on my left. So if I will just keep building and keep my left, that's a good strategy for me. So it's a good way to tell what you need to do with your business, is just by looking at those every so often.
Yeah, that's amazing, Nicole. Yeah, so you're trying to kind of always balance these out. If they're off balance, then you need to build more coaches on this side, or you need to work with the coaches on this that you already have on this side and get them, hitting Success Club and things like that. So that because you're trying to, if you generally try to make them even, you're going to be fine, or at least 1-to-2. Okay, so what other questions do you guys have about all of this? I'm trying to think of stuff that I haven't covered.
What is the minimum volume a person needs to remain active?
50 PV.
And does that have to be through your own personal purchases, or can that come from sales?
Both. So that's the great thing. Like there have been times where like I have my cousin as a coach, and she sometimes is active, sometimes is inactive. And there have been times when I needed to maintain rank. So I was like, okay, girl, buy Shakeology and then I will pay you for it. So that she would become active again.
Right.
Or you could even have someone order through her link instead of yours.
Okay, so then, for example, I only have to buy Shakeology under my husband's account if he doesn't sell anything. If he sells the challenge pack, then I don't need to buy it. Okay.
Yeah, and you can check your back office and see if your husband's active, and you can see how many I think it's called PV, personal volume. How many PV he has.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
For that week or month. And then long term, and I'm just going to mention this briefly because I don't want to confuse you guys, but as you get farther along in your business, another reason that you want to, hang on, that you want to put your husband on your week, we'll see if I can explain this, is because, okay, so pretend this is my weak leg, not always the case, Shereen. And then this is my strong. So this is your husband. We'll say H for hubby. Eventually, when you become a 2-star, then you can open up a second business center and clone yourself, which is really cool. And then you can get that coach to diamond. And I can't remember how this works. And like build, where would you put it, Nicole? Is it, you put them on like the inside leg?
You would put it on the weak leg of your husband's, underneath your husband. So the weak leg of your weak leg.
Right. Yeah. So then you'll see, like, so then you have this, I'm going to just say clone, this clone that you put on your husband's weak leg. Now you're triple dipping on bonus cycles. Okay. And don't worry too much about that, or don't be like, I have no idea what you're talking about, because you don't really need to know that until you hit diamond or higher. But that's just another reason why you want your husband on your weak leg. And because eventually as you get to 2-star, that's when you can clone yourself and you're going to start triple dipping and you're going to start making more money. You're going to start triple dipping in bonus cycles. And then you can get that clone to diamond. So that's one more diamond you can work. So, yeah, just wanted to mention that. Do you have any, what else do you think we need to tell them, Nicole and Jody?
Sorry, I've got a loud munchkin on my lap. She doesn't know how to be quiet. But one thing, I think in the team page, someone had asked, like, what mistakes have you guys made in coach placement that, like, you would change if you could or whatever? And one thing that's helpful to keep in mind, and you don't really have a ton of control over this, but if you can keep in mind that you, aside from one business builder on your strong leg, you want to put most of your builders, if you have coaches that sign up that really want to work the business, you want to put most of them on your weak leg and more like discount coaches on your strong leg. And sometimes you don't know. Sometimes they'll sign up as a discount coach and later they'll want to work the business. So you don't always have control over that. But at one point in time, I had all of my business builders ended up on my right leg. So my weak leg just remained weak because I didn't have, all my discount coaches were on my left. So that is one thing I would just try to keep in mind as you're building.
Right. So see, if you're getting all this spillover and you're getting all these volume points, right, from your extended family, and then you add like some awesome coaches and they're building their team, you know, they're getting all it, then it's like you're getting all these points. And then again, you're going to have, like I said, like maybe 2,000 to like 100 if you only have one coach here. So that's a really good point. Add your business builders to your weak leg. But you guys, it's kind of like there's no perfect formula because you never know who's gonna like be like, oh hey, I want to work the business. Well, maybe you add a discount coach and then suddenly they want to work the business, or maybe you add a coach that you think is gonna kill it and then they don't. So it's like, you know, but you have to kind of make an educated guess, and then you're still also trying to kind of balance rank too. But at least you guys are a little more informed now as to how to build and how to balance too. Because I mean, you've got to at least have a business builder over here to get themselves to emerald, right? So, you know, and then you can get your husband to emerald in order to go to diamond. So diamond, for you new coaches, Jess and Alyssa and anyone else, Diamond is just 8 coaches, but you got to have 4 on your left, 4 on your right, and 1 emerald on each leg. What other questions do you guys have? Or comments?
When you become 2-star and you clone yourself and get that person a diamond, does that make you 3-star, or that just is a whole other entity?
That makes you 3-star, yeah. But with, I guess with like, let's say you want to go 5-star, you have to have 2 on one leg and 3 on the other. So again, you could have 5 on one leg and be only considered a 1-star. You have to have it. That's why it's so tricky. You have to have that balance. Shireen asked a really good question. She said, does volume carry over from week to week, or do you start each week from scratch? Yes, it carries over. And so you'll see if you go to my volume, there's a thing that says like is it spillover volume or carryover volume or something? And you can see that, like, if you, I think it's like if you subtract this and this, then that's your carryover volume, right? The 2,000 minus 100, then that's your carryover volume that will go to the next bonus cycle. So here's one thing that I did not know. I wish I knew this. And that is if you ever lose rank, you lose all your carryover volume. I'm pretty sure. Does that sound right, Nicole? Yeah. Another reason to not lose rank. So always try to like keep an eye on where you're at with rank. What other questions do you have? No.
So I have a question.
Okay.
I already talked to you about this, Kelly, but so once I hit diamond, should I be adding, I just kind of want to hear everyone's perspective, but should I be adding more coaches under me so that if someone were to like go inactive, I wouldn't lose rank, or should I start focusing on building like spouse's account?
You definitely want a buffer.
How many people would you suggest for buffering? Like 1 on each side?
I would start there, but I think what I would do is, I don't know, because it also depends on how many of them are actually working the biz, because if they're not producing any volume, then you still want more coaches that are going to produce volume for you. So I would put like, either have a system of 2 for you, 1 for your hubby kind of thing, which is kind of where I feel like I'm starting to be. And I have like 16 or 17 coaches, not including his. So I have a pretty big buffer, but a lot of them are discount coaches. So it just really depends on how many are strong coaches. Like Joelle's about to hit diamond, and her coaches are rocking it. I feel like she could totally be solid at least for a good 6 weeks while she gets a couple other buffers. Kind of like, I don't think she would have to worry as much as I did, kind of thing.
Right. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good question.
Yeah.
So you definitely want buffer. What other questions do you guys have? I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Yeah.
Can you think of anything else, Nicole, that we haven't covered, or it's important to know?
Not so far.
Yeah, you're pretty.
Okay, so if I were you, I would say after this, I would check your online office and kind of look at where you're at and where you feel like you need to build. Come up with like a game plan of your strategy of like rank versus volume and where you want to place people. Always make sure that you are setting your preferred placement in the right place. And I always just do left or right. I don't choose like the automatic or you're welcome to, but I like to have a little more control. And I never Micah said, never put anyone on an inside of a leg. Like, it should always be like outside. But so make sure you're watching your preferred placement. And let's say you put someone on the wrong leg and you're like, oh crap, they're on the wrong leg. You still have 3 to 5 business days once they sign up as a coach to switch them over to the whatever leg you want them on. So make sure that you just kind of pay attention when a coach signs up, that you check out their leg, that they're on the whatever leg you want them on. And if they're not, then you need to get on it's like you go to the FAQs in the back office and you click on email and you send them an email with the with that coach's ID and their email and their name and say, please switch, this coach to my left leg or my right leg. And then they'll just do it unless I think there's been a couple times where like, sorry, it's too late, but I always just try to ask, even if I'm like, it might be too late, but I'm still going to ask. So Shireen says, if someone is a customer who bought a challenge pack and then they want to become a discount coach, how do we do that? Does it cost them anything extra? Well, the great thing is that if they are a customer with a challenge pack, they want to become a discount coach, they have 2 options. They can just sign up as a coach and then you fill out the waiver form for them. Stephanie and I were talking about this. It's really important that you fill out that waiver form because if you don't, they won't be considered active. So I never put it in their hands. I always put it in, and you've got to do it within 30 days, I believe. Does that sound right, Nicole? 30 days?
Yeah, so they do have to pay the $39.95 to sign up. And then if you fill out the waiver proving that they had purchased a challenge pack, then they will be refunded that $39.95 within like 3 to 4 business days.
I thought it wasn't 30 days anymore.
No, the 30 days, I don't think that they do that anymore. It's if they've ever purchased a challenge pack.
Right. Okay. It says they have to be on HD. But I think you can get it refunded at any time.
So let me explain something real quick. So yeah, you can get the refund no matter what, but they will be inactive if they bought the challenge pack like past the 31-day period. So like I had someone just sign up as a discount coach and they were inactive because they bought their challenge pack in October. So they won't be active again until their next Shakeology order is sent. And then it's like takes a week after that. So like even though she signed up last week as a discount coach, she wouldn't be active until March.
Oh wow. Oh,
you get your points, right? Or no?
You get points, but that will like if you were counting on that for your rank or something,
right.
It wouldn't work.
Don't count on it.
Does that make sense to you guys? Like what we were just talking about? Okay. I know it's kind of, if you're a brand new coach, it's a little confusing, but let's say someone signs up with a challenge pack this month, that's a customer, and then they want to get the discount next month on their Shakeology because anyone who signs up as a coach will get the 25% off that we do as coaches, even if they don't work the business. So they can just sign up as a coach for free. I mean, they have to pay the $39, but then they get the refund after you fill out the forms. It's basically free. And then, but what I do, Shireen, is I tell them like, you can do it that way, but this is your last chance to buy a challenge pack because once you become a coach, then then you don't get that package discount anymore since you're getting the wholesale pricing. So you might want to take advantage of this last chance to get like a Shakeology and a workout program on a discount, especially if they're planning to work the business. And I'm just like, well, yeah, you need to do that because you're a coach and you need to try more products, yada, yada. So that's kind of what I recommend that they do. And most of them do that. I occasionally get a coach that does it just the other way, and I have a whole form in the Team Chic Google Drive that talks about discount coaches, and it explains how I sign them up with the mobile app, and then it has a link to that form that you fill out.
3 minutes. That's it.
Okay, any other questions?
What is the mobile app? I'm clearly behind.
Okay, the Coach mobile app is like, it's not really an app. It's like a place where you can sign up a coach or a customer yourself, and then they just get an email and they basically do the checkout. So
That's so cool.
It is kind of cool. It is. But I don't know, there's pros and cons. I mean, Nicole will have to tell us. I think Nicole does it with most of her clients. I don't do it with most of my clients. I only do it with discount clients because I like them to have, or I don't like to give my discount coaches homework. But I don't know why I don't use it. I think I just feel like I just want them to check out and buy it, I guess. But Nicole does it the other way, right?
Yeah, I just found early on that I give people a link and then they'd be like, they just have a lot of questions. Okay, so am I clicking on the right thing? Is this going to be under you? Like, they would just have a ton of questions. And so when they tell me they're ready to go, I'm like, okay, I just need to know what program you want and what flavor of Shakeology. And I say, I'll get you started on my end, and then you'll just get a follow-up email where you can check out, and then you'll be good to go. And it's just super fast. Like, I literally will get on. I have the website saved on my phone like an app. So I'll just click on it. I'll just do that really fast. You just need their email address and what program they want, what flavor of Shakeology. You do that all, and then a little screen pops up at the end, like when you're done, confirming that they're signed up and that they need to check their email. And I just screenshot that and I send it to them, and I just say, okay, you're all set to go. Check your email to finish up the checkout process, and then you're ready. And I let them know, because that email link that they get to finish the checkout process, it expires after 48 hours. So if they wait longer than 48 hours, I'll click on it and they'll be like, this doesn't work. So I'll tell them that. I'll say it expires after 48 hours, so make sure to do that in the next day or two. And I find I just have them finish the whole checkout process faster. I'm not waiting for them to click on their link and get things ordered for a week or whatever. Like, I get it done. I let them know they have 48 hours to finish their checkout process. So I just think it's faster. That's why I do it.
That's genius. Okay, cool. Thanks.
And you can do the same thing for a coach too, because you can either choose to sign them up as a customer or a coach. So I do it that way for discount coaches, and customers.
Got it.
So, and that is, you guys, if you just go to the discount coach steps and script in Team Chic Drive, it has the instruction. It has a video that explains how to use the Coach mobile app. It has a link to the Coach mobile app. So I would just look on there, and that'll kind of explain how it works. And it has like the wording that I use. I think the reason I don't use the Coach mobile app is two reasons. Because I like them to have the option to sign up as a coach or a customer. And I know that you have like a different process, Nicole, so that they tell you if they want. I think you have them fill out a WooFoo form. But anyway, I just have like, you can sign up as a coach or a customer. Here's how. And the other reason was I just was worried that I would get them signed up. In fact, I've had this happen where I'm like, hey, I got you all signed up. You just got to check out. And then they're like, okay. And then I'm like, did you check out? And then they're like, they just ignore me. And I don't know. I just feel like they don't. But it's different for everyone. I say try it, see what works for you.
I just want to say one thing about the mobile app, because I've only ever used the mobile app. I've never sold a challenge pack any other way.
Really?
Only ever used it. And I used it for my husband as well when I sell through his account. And I noticed that there was one person who I had sent the form to, and in the meantime, I hit SC10. And when that person came back around who hadn't actually purchased it but had sat on the email, I said, well, let me send you the email again, but this time I'm going to send it from my husband's account. And when I tried to do that, it said that email address was associated with another coach. So what I like about the mobile app is if you push that email out and they don't respond right away, if time goes by, they're not going to go to another coach because their email address is already associated with you. So I thought kind of a cool feature. So I had to like manually delete that person from my profile and then sign them up through my husband.
Huh, that's cool. Cool. Well, you guys will have to try it out and let us know what you think. Oh, Shireen uses it too. Cool. The other thing is you got to make sure that you are signed in as you, because I think this is another reason I didn't use it, because the very first time I did it, I wasn't logged in as me, as me as a coach, and I'm pretty sure I freaked out because I'm pretty sure I sent someone else a coach. And so anyway, just make sure you're logged in as you or you're logged in as your husband before you sign anyone up. Okay, other questions? I think we covered a lot. So I'm sure your brains are about to explode, and we rocked our live power hour. So just keep it up, ladies. Any other random questions you want to cover before we call it a night?
I have one other, sorry to be so annoying. But,
no, you're not. I'm sure.
Then this is a random question, but is there any corn in Shakeology? I read somewhere that maltodextrin, is that how you say that? That it's derived from corn, but I'm not 100% sure. And if that's even in it.
I have no idea.
I have someone that has a corn allergy, and I want to just double check before I'm like, hey, yeah, you're good to go.
I would Google it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, but there's some answers that say yes and some that say no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It could depend on the flavor, too, because certain flavors have a few different things in them. So you could check with flavors.
Yeah, and you might want to just put it in their hands and be like, here's the ingredient list. Look it over. That way they can't blame you,
Yeah, good idea.
And you can just say, so look it over and see if this looks okay, and then we'll get you going kind of thing.
In the Beachbody FAQ, they do answer that.
Yeah, I found one, but I'm just not sure if maltodextrin is in all the flavors, so I was wondering if I wanted to.
Oh, well, it says
all. Oh, it says all. You're right. Okay, never mind.
What does it say? Read it to us.
It says all Shakeology flavors contain maltodextrin, a processing aid which is derived from corn. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. Well, let's just keep pushing hard to fill this Love Handles group. I'm excited for it to start. And we'll start the group. We'll actually get it going this weekend. So don't panic if you don't see it yet. Okay, well, I'm going to end the call. This was a great chat. Hopefully it answered a bunch of your questions. Let me know if you have any other questions. And have a good night. Bye, you guys.
Night.